such an honor to be here with you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I am Rising Phoenix AuroRa. I am known as a spiritual revolutionist, a spiritual leader in many forms, but I'm also the founder of A.U.R.A Hypnosis Entity Removal, Past Life Regression, alongside with many other healing modalities, self-healing modalities that are holistic, that are quantum, that are truly a quantum physics and a quantum beauty in the ways that you can heal yourself. I have tons of videos out there, over 900 that you can watch. I have books, as I am the author to Galactic Soul History of the Universe Multiverse book series. And then I'm also my very recent one. You want to check out all of these under Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And the Lost Cities of Tartaria Beyond the Ice Walls of Antarctica. So I've been covering this series, and this series, today's book, and mini series within the series of the Lost Cities of Tartaria and the Ice Beyond the Ice Walls of Antarctica is part of this series. So it's a series within itself. And yeah, it's so big. I'm sure you've been preparing for this. I've been preparing for this. I mean, your higher self has been preparing you for this. So today's book, a series that we'll be talking about, say first episode of that, is called the Worlds Columbian Exposition. It is pretty incredible what I found so far. Now, I haven't read it all because it's like 600 pages, pretty big book. It's from 1893, you all. And it pretty much summarizes all the world's fairs that they claim that were real up to 1893 here for us. So that tells you how advanced we were, even alone in 1893. And what are we in 2025? That's a long time ago, wasn't it? So here's the proof. And it is incredible, but just a little introduction. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It is big, big, big. I also have some postcards I got to show you guys. A little sneak peek there. So much to share. Today's video will be about an hour and a half, but to support everything I do and go to aurapractitioners.com, Rising Phoenix Mystery School, as well as Patreon. And I offer readings, quantum galactic Akashic readings, raw Reiki sessions, Aura sessions, which I am the founder of, Aura Hypnosis Healing, and entity removal. It is quite incredible. You all watch the Aura sessions. We just had a Aura session come out where a young man healed himself from cancer. Yes, he did. And turns out there was a demon that attached to him when he was a baby in her mother's womb. And you could hear his story and how that happened. And it attached down to the cells and the mitochondria that turned into cancer in the future. Now, cancer can be rooted from different types of reasons, not just say a demon, but it takes a strong curse, a strong ill intent, a strong hatred, a strong black magic sometimes, or a strong entity attached. So then that's going to be an example for us to really understand how we must be sovereignly protective over our energy fields. We also have so many Aura sessions that are waiting for me to publish, so keep an eye on those. We have another one coming out of the world that if we were to see this world with our third eye all day long, the world that is now, the world that has shifted, and the way that we have orbited into higher timeline, higher time space. So you'll keep an eye on that for the next week. That'll be out. So much happening, you all. I have an announcement. I think I announced it last time, but I have a beautiful course that I am working on. Keep an eye on for the next couple of weeks, where I will be announcing once it'll be ready to go. And come join us live when it is announced, because it's going to be huge, spectacular. And it is called Sophia's Quantum Touch. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to add healing to it, but Sophia's Quantum Touch. So it will be her hands unified with your hands, Divine Mother Sophia, Divine Mother, Divine Father, God Source, through your hands, as you are the bridge of God, God Source, the Creator. You are that every day, and your hands are so powerful. We don't realize how powerful our hands are. So through this course, you're going to learn how your hands are the healers and the bridges to all these healing potentials. So keep an eye on that. The other thing that I have is I'm doing more online courses for this year because we won't be doing in-person sessions till next year. And again, I'm going to be transitioning a lot to Chicago more so. So come sign up to our Raw Reiki session, which that one teaches you how to remove entities, how to start self-healing yourself, and then also offer it to others as a practitioner, as a raw Reiki practitioner. And that's 10-25-25. But if you want to join us for the full-on workshop, which is the Aura Hypnosis I mentioned through the books, and then the raw Reiki, you'll join us then November 10 for that live for 5 days with me. The raw Reiki is only one day on 10-25-25, one whole day with me. And then the Aura and raw hypnosis and raw Reiki, past life regression and raw Reiki together is a whole week. So 5 days, November 10 through the 15th. Love to see you there. Or 14, one of those. All right. So those are my announcements. To find any Aura practitioner, raw practitioner, or Akashic reading practitioners all over the world, go to aurapractitioners.com. Make sure you sign up to my newsletter where I have lots of updates always happening, newsletters that we write, also keeping up with the practitioners from around the world. And let's see, that is all. It is incredible to be here with you. Let's get started. Yeah, so let's get started with a song. And then Gina, do you want to say hi as I get my song ready here?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Greetings. What a cool new series. Kind of not new series, but Aurora's been talking about world fairs for a couple of years now. And I'm excited to see more about this book. She always finds the coolest books, you guys. It's always right in alignment. It's just so incredible how everything always lines up. So make sure you write your questions in chat for everybody to see, and we can get Aurora to answer it all live here. And if you, again, like Aurora said, sign up for those classes, find you a practitioner, become a practitioner. And I'll keep adding stuff into the chat for you guys to look up later on.
All right, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Gina. The thing you want to add is that you want to add now or a couple times the link to the book, because one of the practitioners found a digital copy, since this might be just a few on Earth. Thank you to the angels who laid that out for me there on a random book hunt, bookstore buy. And yeah, so we have the digital link so you can read along with us. So make sure Gina's gonna add that for you guys to get started. There's so much, you all, so much. All right, let's go. So that's going on, and the first thing I want to talk about is exciting. In one of my random antique shop buys, this happened, y'all. Okay, this is crazy. Get ready. Okay. All right. Look at this. You see what it says? Hemisphere. So Texas World's Fair, 68. And it's like that specific part of this World's Fair is Mexico. Do you all remember there was World's Fairs in 1968? Because from my last memory, I remember them being like earlier on when Tesla was around. But did you guys know that there was one in 1968? Look at this. And it's here's the back of it here. And it tells you when it started. So April 6th, my birthday, April 6th through October 6th, 1968, San Antonio, Texas. Shown in architect's model of Los Plazos del Mundo, Plazos of the World, Hemispheres International Area, where more than 30 foreign governments will have exhibits. 30? What? Okay, you all, let me know in chat. Were you alive in 1968? And do you not remember this in Texas? Because, I mean, that's pretty big. If it's 30 foreign governments coming together, you all. And what's interesting about this is that this is like 11 years before what happened with the Muslim regime in 1979, right? They took over and they started, at that point, I made a video about that, right? The degression of females, especially in the Islamic, Muslim, Israel, you know, all those areas where the Muslims have invaded. Okay, so then this is a world right before that, right? Before that dictatorship spread. What else does it say? It says, you know, like the Texas, Antonio, and then yeah, what else? It says like the, you know, the stamp of the company that made it and stuff, like here, you know. Okay, so all right, so that's the thing. Okay, but here's where it gets more trippy, you all. All right, check this out. Get ready. You see that? 1982 World's Fair. Hold on. May through October 1982, Knoxville, Tennessee, USA. All right. I mean, I was born in the 80s. I was one technically then. Okay, so just to make it any clear, this whoever bought this postcard really wanted to make it very clear to us that it was 1982. Okay, A15, 1982. There's an authentic USPS mark stamp, August 15, 1982. And it even says the World's Fair. Okay, and again, down here, the whole description, 1982 again, 1982. And it says, the 1982 World's Fair, May 1st through October 31st. 1982, Knoxville, Tennessee. An overview showing from front to back, Tennessee State Amphitheater, United States Pavilion in the distance of Federal Express Exhibit Australia, Canada, and People's Republic. Who is the People's Republic? And we're going to discover that because the book talks about it here and there. But who is the People's Republic? So it seems like there was a benevolent republic, which would have been the original like amendments and so on that protect the people, even before kind of like Texas, like the taxes, the IRS. When did the IRS officially start, Gina? What year was that? Okay, so then according to this, we have a People's Republic, guys, like Star Wars, but the positive one. A People's Republic of China Pavilions. Their energy-themed international event is the first World's Fair to be held in the United States since 1974? Holy moly. Hold on. What? Oh, I hadn't read that part. Angel bumps. So it is the first one being held since 1974. So technically, you all, were you around these ages? Tell me in chat, did you remember that? Okay, so it seems like according to this, they stopped doing the World Fairs probably maybe 1968, right? This one. Well, I have more postcards. We'll look at them. Okay, somewhere around here. And then the last one, they stopped since 1974, right? And here we are. We're back at it in 1982. Which would have been which president? Oh, that was I liked him. What was his name? Gina, what do you have so far?
Reagan. Ronald Reagan.
Did they try to remove him or something? I can't remember the story to that.
Yeah, so he, I think he had to do with, what was it, the Watergate?
That's right. I felt like they framed him for that. Okay. So he started the World Fairs again, you all. Oh my God, in 1982, and they removed him. So who was the president then, Gina, from 1974 when they stopped? Who was that president that ended it? And then Reagan started it in 1982 again. I know this is trippy, you all, because do any of you have these memories that you went to World Fairs? Because they were a thing, you all. They were huge. Everybody knew about them. You went to them every year.
Oh, so Nixon was the Watergate scandal.
Okay.
74, he resigned. Then Gerald Ford took over in August of 74.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Watergate happened with Ford right before
Okay.
the World's Fairs started back up or ended. They didn't, yeah. So 74, Ford was taken out of office, or no, excuse me. 74, Nixon was taken out of office. Gerald Ford took over in August, and then Ronald Reagan took over in 81.
Okay, so he took over, Ronald Reagan took over Nixon, who got kicked out of office for the Watergate, correct?
So it was
Mm-hmm.
Ford took office after Nixon. So he was kind of like
The
he was the
filling
vice
guy.
president.
The filling guy.
Yeah, the filling guy. And then after that, yeah.
Yeah, then, yeah, Ronald Reagan took over in 1981, right? Okay, when he restarted them again. So then Ford must have been a negative guy, obviously, because he took over the good guy. Seems like something's going on with Nixon. I felt like he was framed. Whoever was part of that Watergate, like something, they didn't like something he was doing there, and they took over it and kicked him out. So it's also very interesting to think about like the different presidents that were part of these world fairs and who were they and what were they up to, right? All right, you all. So let's chat about this for a minute. So, okay, 1968, right? 82, let's see. Here's another 1968, another one if you don't think that's enough proof. Here's another one with the same information shared here as the other one. Institute of Texts and Cultures in a main display. Okay, so then, oh, look at that. So then they're taking pictures of the actual buildings, each one of these. Okay, so this one's the Mexican kind of building. This one from Mexico. This one is the Institute of Texts and Cultures in a main display area, the size of the 4 football fields. Visitors to the Texas State Pavilion will view an exciting dramatization of the culture, history, and future of this incredible diverse state, Texas. Okay, so we're really seeing these a lot in the South in this time space. I mean, I found really cool ones, you all. Like, you know, this, so Tartarian castles. Some of them don't have the years stamped, which is interesting because the World Fair ones have a very, very sure that the date has to be on. But this was 1910. And I'm trying to figure out, because according to this, I mean, where is this? It's like, okay, this is Portland, you all. Portland. And whoever this was went to Portland, and then they sent it to Chicago. Oh, they were in Portland, here in this castle. That's what it's called. Gina, look up. Does that castle still exist? It's called the Hugh C. Layton Company. Oh no, wait. No. That's not. That's the company that printed it. It says manufactures Portland ME. I don't know. There must be a castle somewhere in Portland. Is there a castle in Portland? I'm sure there is. Okay, it's kind of like cool, like looking at someone, someone's kind of like a little note. Okay, this is what he said. So he addressed it to Mrs. Francis. Oh, yeah, I can't tell that writing.
Aurora, is that Portland, Oregon, or is that Portland, England?
Um, oh, what does that say? I don't think it says USA. It says Portland, MENE. I can't tell. What does it say here? Hold on. That's what it says. It says Portland, ME, USA. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to tell his writing. Goodness. Something, dear, I am well. Hope you, amid Frank and the children, and well, and keeping cool as as I think he says horrible as it's very hot here, and we are almost searched between the sun and the brick. It's funny. He sends it to Chicago, right? And this is how it got to me. Okay, 1910. So among the World's Fair again, but apparently, I mean, there was World's Fairs till 1982. Okay, but it seems like they had breaks in between, so it seems like it really kind of depended on. This one doesn't have a year, but it's pretty cool. It depended on the president and the ways that I mean, these wars are absolutely ridiculous. 1910, I mean, all these that I showed, like the previous ones, the early 19s, there's no wars, right? World War One happened in what year, Gina? So basically, World War One marks the year of kind of like the alien kind of conquering over humanity.
So that was July 28th, 1914 to November 11th, 1918.
Yep. So then that is marking that, and then this one's right before the one I just showed you is 1910. And let us know what you figure out about. Wait, it says it here. It says Warrior Mass Oriad Institute. There, that's the name of it. Can you read it? All right, see what you can find on that. Okay. And then we have just more and more that I found. Let's see. These are cool, you know. These this is a Blackstone, Chicago, Tartarian buildings. This one is the Art Museum of Forests, St. Louis, Missouri. 1904. Oh, there it is. 1904. The Art Museum of Forests was built in 1904, supposedly for the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, and it is only building left from the exposition. Well, you know, that's when they started changing, right? So it's the only one left. Okay, this is the last building left, you all, from the Missouri World Fairs, the exposition. We're looking at the last one when they knocked them all down. So then we're seeing at 1904, so even earlier than the World War One. That's something happened there, and then that's when the reset starts happening. Which someone asked me if I could make a video on the Cabbage Patch Kids, and how they receded, and I'll be doing that. So there's another one in 1968 Texas World Fair, and this one is it says here. So another exhibit of it, Hemisphere View. The theme of Hemisphere 68 is the confluence of civilization in the Americas, a flowing together of the combined civilization of 6 continents. This is an overall view of the fair in downtown San Antonio. Yep. So again, I mean, it looks like it was a pretty large one. Another one of 68, Texas World Fair. This one is the Southwestern Bell Telephone Company Pavilion. Visitors to the exhibit will be treated to a lively show of the progress of the communications. The past, present, and future of communications will be shown, but the emphasis will be on the future. So this is pretty cool. We're looking at 1968, a little bit of like a teaser of that, right? And then, but we're gonna go all the way back to 1893 to figure out you know, when they were really benevolent at that point. Another one from Texas Hemisphere Fair 1968, same one, but a different area, Texas World Fair, okay? And it says, this is the Lone Star Hall of Texas History, Lone Star Brewery's Pavilion in Hemisphere 68, Salón de Exhibición de la Historia del Texas de la Cerveza. So basically it says it in Spanish. That's interesting. They're already translating things in Spanish there. This is very interesting right here. I need to look into him. Mark Twain was a scientist, correct, Gina?
Mark Twain was a writer. He's an author and writer.
Oh,
He did
author
some
and writer.
poetry and books, yeah.
Okay, all right. I knew
Like
someone.
Huckleberry Finn and things like that, if you've heard about kind of like that.
And Huckleberry Finn was about what?
It did have to do with different, basically black and white racism type things like that, but also a young boy traveling by himself. So it's kind of Americana mixed with different other ideals.
Yeah, so when I found this one, I felt him there. Like he was standing next to me and he said, "You need to pick up this postcard. It's me from here. I need to, to talk to you."
He
So I
also
kept
is
his presence with me. He put that postcard there for me to find it and figure him out. Go ahead.
that's pretty cool. He's also a humorist and an essayist, so he wrote a lot of essays, some different humor writing, things like that. Um, and he was born in the 1800s in 1835. So in Missouri or in Florida, Missouri. So
Okay. So thank you. And then it says here, during his last visit to Hannibal in 1902, Mark Twain posted in front. So he's posted in front of his boyhood home when he was. Oh, that's why I felt his energy so powerful through it. It's his house. He's grew up in. Wow. Okay. The one that figured in the Adventures of Tom Sawyer. That must be a book. He said that each time he came back to the house seemed to grow smaller than his memory of it. That if he came back often enough, it would look like a dollhouse, and the house is still there, and property of the city of Hannibal. It will be preserved, and admission to it is free. Huh. Cool. All right, we'll figure out why he came to me. I'm a writer. Let's figure it out. Well, something's going on there. I mean, here's some really cool ones. Here's another one, right? 1962. So this was before the 1968, the ones I've been showing you. This is 1962, Seattle. So you know what that's about right there, right? Then Pinedo, whatever tower, needle tower, is actually the World's Fair. And it's apparently some dark energy in there. Coughing. Because it is was a major exhibit at the 1962 Seattle's World Fair. 1962, so it's before the 1968 of Texas, okay? So there's still World Fairs happening, you all. What are they saying, Gina? Does anybody remember having World Fairs to 60, 68, and then 72 through 82? Okay, and the question is, if you don't remember, where did our memory go, you all? That is trippy. And it goes with all the content I've been writing, like the jabs. Yeah, the jabs. I'm on uncensored channel. Forgot for a second. The vaccinations. Where did that memory go? And I remember, like, at the beginning of my waking stages, they would like take groups of people up in spaceships. And then we had the Philadelphia experiment that happened in 1943. That began. So for during that time frame, what happened? Okay, tell me what people are saying in a minute. Okay, so what does it say? Pacific Science Center, right? 1962, Seattle World's Fair at the U.S. Science Pavilion, and now is a prime attraction at Seattle Center. Soaring Gothic arches, fountains, and fairyland lightning create a beautiful setting for the center's world-famous collection of scientific exhibit. Seattle Space Needle towers over all. What did they wrote? This the Science Center Space Needle. Yeah. Okay.
So somebody said that they visited New York City's World Fair in 1964 to 1965.
You do remember that. All right. All right. How about the 80s? Do you guys remember the 80s? So I thought this one was pretty cool. It's from New York. I just bought it because it's pretty. Times Square at night, New York City. And let's see if it has a year. Let's see what it says. It says Times Square at night, Times Square, the crossroads of the world in by night to be bedazzling spectacle of light and color. Here is the heart of the city. Lives a great theatrical center, the home of the Broadway of glamorous Great White Way. Okay, yeah.
So somebody said that 1963 is the wave of time jump. Is it like a time jump time?
Oh, is that one the 43 to 63 from the Philadelphia experiment? You're right. Yep, because it did every 20 years, the time jump. For those of you who haven't, you guys gotta sign up. This is pretty incredible, you all. I mean, if you are wanting to watch a series that is so vast and huge and expansive, both of mind, consciousness, mind, body, and soul, and heart, that's the series you want to watch, which is available only at my Rising Phoenix Mystery School or ourpractitioners.com and my Patreon. The extra sensitive series. You've been seeing me advertise it tons, right? Channeling Nikola Tesla, channeling Einstein. This is crazy, you all. I'm about to channel what really happened in World War II. Hitler, the Nazis, because I had his daughter's memories come to me back since 2022. And yeah, get ready. But I showed you guys a preview. You could watch that preview of gonna channel that next month. So here's another kind of like what the hotels were starting to look like during these times. You know, it's really nice. New York, Hotel Taft, Times Square, largest hotel, 2,000 rooms with baths, only $2.50. That's nice. New direct reception radio, servidor, circulating ice water in each room. Ooh, wow. Radio City, 100 theaters, retail, and wholesale districts. Motor coach connection. Yeah, there's subway stations, Capitol Bus Terminal just around the corner. Grand Central Pennsylvania station, which has been knocked down. Not there anymore. So, I mean, just a couple more here. Postcards. And this is of looking toward west from parapet of John and Mabel Ringley Museum of Art, Sarasota, Florida. Nice. This one doesn't have the year, but it looks old. It's old. It's old like the others. But this one's in color. And then the last one I found is Statue of Liberty as illuminated at night, New York City. Fort Wood. Let's look at that detail. So pretty. It says the Statue of Liberty stands on Bedloes Island in, is that what they call it now? They don't call it that. Bedloes Island in New York Harbor, not far from the battery designed by August Bartholdi. Look him up. August Bartholdi, who is that? Presented by the French to America in supposedly 1884. But we know that that's already starting to be made up because we found the last American book, which is this is a continuous to the last American book. Yeah, which we have 4 parts, which you do want to watch because this is big, you all. All right, so then we've been talking about the 2 worlds, right? Like the 2 worlds. That's something I want to say about that. I was watching Moana. This happens sometimes when I'm directed to watch movies. Like there's messages in there for me. So I was watching Moana too, right? Finally got to that. As I'm watching it, I'm like figuring it out, and like, you know, she's like voyaging. She's getting together with trying to find the other people of the waters and the lands. And I'm like, okay, hold on. So if in the last American, the Caucasian people kind of died in their bed, right? The last American. Show you pictures, right? This book. You've seen it. I'm sure you guys have seen it since you're here. So this book here, right? Something happens to the people. It gets really hot. Also, they're not a matching vibration to what's happening within this world. It's veiling, and whoever's basically a match, see the Statue of Liberty already? Whoever's a matching vibration is going to be able to last it out. This is another book that I found, right? You guys can watch that series. So big. What was the year of that? This is 1889. So this is 4 years, but it was a journal that was journaled, you know, long before, and it was then, you know, copyrighted and then finally published in 1889 by this Persian king before even Christopher Columbus discovered America. Not. So crazy, huh, you all? Yeah, so you want to watch that series, and I'm sure you have. So that's been incredible what happened. So, okay, so we know that something happened to the people here, and it was a trippy Mandela. So the other question, you all, is like, there's a Mandela happening here, you all. Why? You know what's crazy is that when I found these, the antique shop guy said, "Oh, you are in luck. I just put those out minutes before you got here." I was like, "Of course you did." And it felt like almost like, oh, not almost. What I saw when he said that is I saw a vision like these postcards Mandelaing in from another time space that was lost. If you watch the last American part for the 4 episodes, you know what I'm talking about. What's been happening with the series is trippy, you all. Okay, because till then, for everyone I spoke to said they did not remember going to a world fair. They don't remember. They think that they do, but then they didn't officially remember. Which then, when I saw this world fair in 1982, I remember when I was a little girl, maybe a couple years old, 3 or 4. So again, born in 1981. I don't know what year it'd be, maybe 1983. I was a little girl, and I was in McCormick. If you guys are from Chicago, McCormick Place, it's huge, right? Gigantic, like these big buildings, huge. And they're high ceilings. And I was there with my family, okay? My basically my parents. And what happened is that I was walking, like a little girl would be walking, and this lady, this kind of chubby lady, runs into me on purpose, knocks me, I'm a little tiny baby, knocks me out, I fly, you know, they're always trying to kill me when I was younger. Anyways, I'm by the stairs. I think I could have almost fallen off the stairs. I just remember being my parents were appalled by what the heck? It was so obvious that this lady ran into me to try to kill me. Anyways, the reason why I remember being at McCormick Place in, say, 1983 was because what happened to me is that I broke my arm. And the fact that the trauma, the pain of that brought all the sensories back to me. You get me? So that's crazy. Because you know how we forget these memories? So if it wasn't for me breaking my arm, even though it was a crazy lady doing that to me, I wouldn't have remembered. I remember being there. I remember there was like vendors, there was like music, there was food. It's been happening. It's been happening. Crazy, huh? Chicago. Anyways, thought you guys would want to see that before we go into this. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Questions, comments on what we just shared here.
Yeah, that's so cool. Everybody has been excited about this timeline, about all these postcards. Postcards are like just incredible. Um, and somebody had asked previously at the very beginning about the timeline, but you really, those postcards just took you right through them. So is there anything else you'd like to share about the timeline that's going on there?
The timeline? Wait, which timeline?
I think just all the timelines that were kind of shifting and changing, because you went through the postcards and talked a little bit.
Okay,
Anything else
because
you want?
yes, thank you. This is what it felt like. It felt 13th gate, Lionsgate orbited those postcards in, which then is going to basically allow humanity to start remembering. Because I am telling you, everyone I talked to before said they didn't remember. Now I just talked to someone yesterday and they said they remembered they were one. I was like, wait a minute, I've been talking to people, no one has ever said they remember. How do you remember? And they was like, yeah, I remember there was one in Tennessee and Texas. And I was like, what? Okay. And so what has been deleted and fogged and amnesia, you all, erased from our consciousness has come back. This is huge. It's returned. And those postcards are the Mandela effect, guys, in physical form to prove that they are back. Here we are. Right here. There's the, oh my God. You get it? Okay. What does that mean? That means that the world fairs are coming back and that we're back in the timeline when Tartaria fell. Oh my God. This is what Divine Mother is saying. As always, only source of light is allowed within this space. Only benevolence is allowed to speak to me. Divine Mother, right? Okay. Always, always. Only love, 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 love. All right. So she says that we are back in that timeline, which means that we must be very close to the fourth dimension. Closer than we realize, she says. She says we, because of all the eclipses, don't play with me. She's not playing with me. I'm excited. I say that when I freak out. She said 3.7 pivoting into 3.8. What? And so as a collective organic light on Earth, oh, it was Charlie Kirk. Also, all those portals, you know, the eclipses, the lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse, the 9/9 portal, the 7/7 portal, you know, like all these, like the Lionsgate especially, have got us here, and we're 3.8 nearing, which is so close to the 4. What will happen then? Oh my God, we'll see what happens. All right, we know that something's been happening in the sky. It is for real, you all. Like what? Like we know that Venus has come closer to us. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, but let's see. Let me find the pictures that I saved of what happened here.
Oh, that's so exciting. And
go ahead.
yeah, and then somebody said that so the more postcards, books, and maps are going to be portaling into. How exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Things are gonna, yeah, Mandela in. So we know that this happened. What date was that? It was right around the eclipse, the lunar eclipse. So September 21st, right here. Look at this, September 20th. What is going on there? I mean, that's a whole lot going on here. I got up at 4 in the morning in Chicago and I could see that too. And I was like, whoa. And it was super close. Look at Stonehenge. I talked to the UK people, you all, and they said the moon has never looked like that. It's never. They said it's been tiny. That the moon is gigantic coming out from Stonehenge now. Yeah. It's crazy. It's so amazing. Look at that. That was Venus right here. It was other ones too. Multiple people, you all, not just one person. I saw it. It was incredible. Okay. Um, all right. So the magic. Okay, so to continue this. Okay, any other questions on the postcards before I continue to the next little topic here?
Yes. So somebody asked, do you have a real building picture from the postcards in 1968? And somebody else answered them and said they only saw that there's a tower of the Americans from the San Antonio World Fair of 1968. Did you see any other ones from that time?
Yeah, there's towers. Yeah, like there's this building for the Mexican one. So it turns out, I mean, according to this, 30 different countries were coming together, right? And putting their countries kind of building together, exhibition together. But what happened is that like the one like is at some point somebody knocked them down, some kind of dark person knocked them down, dark aliens. Right? So according to this one, it says that here, right? And it said this one, it said this was the last standing one in 1904. So they're starting to get knocked down in the early 1900s. And as they're knocking them down, that's what allows the World War One to come in. And then World War Two. And this is the last building standing, right? From the original Tartaria. So it looks like since they knocked all the original Tartarian, not all of them, but a good portion of them, and only left one, if they did. Even looking at Tennessee, do you guys remember that? Like the Athena, right? How everything was wiped out. Only the Parthenon is left. You can watch that on the Antarctica Tartaria series. Okay, so yeah, you got a couple buildings in 1968. You got this one, but they're not the Tartarian buildings because they were knocked down, right? Just like this one says. Let me see what other 1968 ones we have. Yeah, we got a couple 1968s actually. Four, five, actually five 1968s. Okay, here. 1968. But they had the countries, whoever came, needed to make their own buildings, or right, recreate them. So years in the making to make all of these back again, these buildings, to do this World Fair in 1968 in Texas. Which then that tells you that every big city had these buildings, you all. This is a big thing. This is how big the World Fairs were. So they would each company would have, yeah, and then they would host them yearly. I don't know how they went, like if they did 1 year here, 1 year there, but what we do know is that in 1968 they had several buildings alone, just 5, and I'm sure there was more. Make a note, this symbol is pretty cool, this one here. What does this say? I can't read those tiny little words. Yeah. I have no idea what that says there. Maybe I'll take a picture and zoom in on it. Okay. So, questions, comments?
Yeah, that's so interesting. Um,
For sure.
do you see the ice wall melting faster as we go up to 3.8?
Yes. Absolutely.
And then somebody said that it looks like they're having a celestial party with the pictures you're showing of all the celestial events happening at the same time.
Right? Oh, so yeah, for sure. They had some kind of council meeting that day. They
Somebody
were
said,
having a celestial party. Let me tell you why. Because in the did I talk about this? I know I talked about it to the Rising Phoenix Mystery School. How did I talk about this? How the gods came in? I think I did, right? The last video. Oh, that was in the remote viewing. That was the one that was not available for the public. So, but did I take out? Hold on. What was the video I did prior to this one? I'm trying not to repeat things. Okay, but there was. Let me look at my list. There was that one. Yeah, I haven't talked about it to you guys. Actually, I haven't. So during you see the celestial party, right, of all the moons and stars and stuff, what happened was that that lunar eclipse brought in the gods, and so the gods that were oh, so it says 1965 something, some I think it's like the symbol for World Fairs, 1965. Men's error something 60 something. Okay. Um they came in, so we would see, that's how we saw them, the celestial party, because the seven goddesses were, not only were they coming in from Avalon, the UK area, Ireland area, they were portaling into our world, and the only way that they could come in through to our earth, and the which then rippled to the rest of the earths parallel to us, was through the moon and the sun. You're unifying the lunar eclipse specifically, because the lunar eclipse, we talked about this in the Antarctica Tartaria series, how it represents the future Earth, and this is really plasma. The moon is really plasma. Now, it helps us. We question what's happening on the dark side of the moon, because I mean, we've had plenty of clients go to the dark side of the moon, which is making me question, is like, were they really on the dark side of the moon, or were they somewhere near where it looked like it was our world from far, and I think they were beyond Antarctica, which made our world look far to them. So they must have been in some kind of military base. So everything's Mandelaing. I'm trying to keep up with it, because it's the moon now, grandmother moon, Sophia moon, is completely benevolent. So even the dark side of the moon really doesn't even exist anymore. And it goes into this one video, you all, back in actually, let me pull that up for you, where there was a scientist talking about the moon and how he said it was plasma. So let's see, we're here, and let me read this quote before I show you this, actually. So I didn't know Tesla said this, but we had a class, Rising Phoenix Mystery School, and I taught about this Sunday about the moon. I talked about crystals, candles, oils, and all about the moon. Did you know that Tesla said to me before I saw this quote? He said that the Earth is the atom, say the nucleus, say it's an atom, a nucleus, right? The nucleus, the center. And you know how you have the electrons, and then you got protons and neutrons, right? Okay. But inside the nucleus is the protons and the neutrons. But then there's electrons, right? Those rings. I'll show you visual, okay? This is quite epic. Let me get you the visual, hold on. In case you don't know what an atom looks like. Okay, here we go, okay. See this? This is why I say energetically the Earth is spheric, but it's in a physical carbon base, so it's a flat land on waters. But the waters all connect us in bubbles of the flower of life, right? The flower of life, the lotus flowers I've been talking about. Okay, so see this, the Earth cannot operate, you all, unless it has the moon and the sun. And the moons and the suns go around, and they're the electrons. The electrons then connect to this, see this field here? Is the field above us, which is the crystalline force field, the crystalline dome. We are literally in a Tesla coil. I've channeled that article, and we'll add the article here for you to read. I don't know, like a year and a half ago. Okay, and I said we're inside a plasma ball of a Tesla coil. That's what Nikola Tesla had told me. Here's the proof. You get it? So then the lightning, especially like lightning storms, they're amplifying the electricity. We cannot be alive unless we have electricity running through us, right? The minute you do not have electricity running through your body, your heart stops. You are done. Like your consciousness leaves, right? So this whole construct is powered up by electricity, the lightning, the electricity of God, a source. And it is why the lightning has it. Why, if you ground a pole to the ground, you get electricity. Why, if you basically oscillate and spin. Engineering, you spin something in a rotational movement, why the pull, like engineering, will pull in the ether from around you because the electricity is in the ether, is floating around. And if you move in motion, whew, what happens is it cause friction, and then the friction draws in and pulls in the electricity from the air, which is the alternating current of Nikola Tesla, which is why you want to go see that extra sensitive series where he talks about. And take you on a tour inside the New Yorker, which no one really has seen before. It's pretty cool, because it's kind of restricted unless, I think you can see his room, but that's about it. So and your room that you rent. Okay, so all right, you get it? Okay, so that's the atom. Okay, so let me explain this to you. This popped up, of course, randomly on one of my social medias, because when you are flowing with the divine, things just flow to you. Okay, and this is what an actual quote that Nikola Tesla said, and this was days after I was teaching the anatomy of the Earth and how she works with eclipses. It was an incredible class, you all. 3.5 hours talking about this incredible, like how the atmosphere that's created and how we are an atom. Okay, so it's too long to explain to you guys, but okay. So the moon and the sun are basically crystals, like I explained to you guys before. They're crystals of the hearts of the giant trees. They used to hold up all our entire energy field of the 5D construct, but then we digress, right? And we went to the third dimension we're rising out from. And in this third dimension, the trees look cut like all those like devil towers and all these cut mountains, and they look like bright giant trees. We're not going to go into that. But those shards of the giant hearts went to the moon created. So when it digressed from 5D to 4D to 3D, then that's that whole transitioning. And as it digressed, that's the transitioning of like the sun becoming too like radioactive, and why some of our Caucasian people passed away in our world to the last American, which I got to go into that some more. But hear what he says. So Nikola Tesla said, Earth is a kingdom, not a planet. Whoa. Multiverse, y'all. Like I say, it's not an object, hence it has no edge. Earth would be easier to define a systematic medium, as Earth would be easier to define as a systematic medium. Exactly, Tesla, I agree with you. That's what I've been talking about. Earth is also a machine. It is a Tesla coil. I wow myself sometimes. I know I'm channeling him, but it's pretty cool when I channel him and I don't find the stuff till sometimes a year later of what I channeled. The sun and moon are wirelessly, okay, listen to this. The sun and moon are wirelessly powered by an electromagnetic field, the ether. This field also suspends the celestial spheres by electromagnetic levitation, which is the sun and the moons, you all. Electromagnetic levitation disproves gravity because the only force you have to oppose is the electromagnetic force, not gravity, the spinning of the electrons. The stars are attached to the firmament. Remember what I said years ago when I remote viewed the Matrix, and people were asking me questions about it, and they said, how do the stars work? And I said, the stars are within the field. They're a projection inside the field. You get it? In the blanket of the force field around us, they're inside of there. Their consciousness is inside of there. And outside, remember we talked about that, is everything is close to you. Everything's floating above you. It's not far like how it is here. So every time since March 2023, was it 23 or 24 when we went to Angel Oaks? 24, I think it was.
24.
Oh God, that's so far away. When the we made that video where the crystalline energy above us, the stars got closer to us, right? You guys remember that? I mean, you remember when you were little? I hope you haven't forgot that the stars were so far you couldn't even see them. Now you can see them. Their colors are shifting and everything, right? Right? I mean, I'll show you a video of the way they look, and then I'll show you the video of the scientists talking about it. Here we go. Let me pull it up. Okay. Really quick. Random video. And there's tons of these guys. And this happened after Angel Oaks, March 2024. This is a star. Okay. We know that that's not the stars. Right. They were like tiny little dots. There were tiny little lights. Far, 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 far. You know? And now you can see this with your eyes. So Nikola Tesla, tell us what's happening. Why has the crystalline energy, or like you said, what he specifically said, right, was the stars are attached to the firmament. By the way, he's a scientist, and all the scientists from that time space explained that there was a firmament, which is a crystalline dome above us. Listen, if you are a scientist and just logically minded, and also intelligently scientists, or you question things, the only way electricity can stay in one energetic field is if you have it contained with a crystalline energy above you, which is what Tesla called it, is the firmament. That's the only way the electricity, you could read my article, could come back and forth. If electricity shot up, you all, it would shoot out and it would go into space, correct? It has to. You don't see that. You see it being contained inside a Tesla coil, inside the plasma ball that we are. It's contained. And it's shooting only above us. And now there is electricity in the soil though, right? Beneath us. So as it's shooting, yeah, so that's that. Okay, you understand? All right, so the crystalline firmament is holding the lightning in, which are the electrons. Okay. All right. So let me show you the scientists. That's right. I was talking. 1 second. Videos. Hold on. Videos. Where did I put it? Oh, it's in that one. I think it's in this one. It's Tartaria. Okay, bear with me. I didn't realize they were gonna have me. I never know what we're gonna talk about, as always. Okay, so right here, Earth and Cosmos. Moon. Why can't I find you? I had it, I saved it, and now I can't find it. 1 second. Where did I put it is the question. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, somebody else said that in one of the old maps, the cartographer, the map drawer, describes the world as the machine.
Yes. So it's an atom. It's a like he said, it's just a multiverse, really, is the in our time space how we can explain that. So I can't find a video of the scientist, so maybe you could look it up, Gina. It's a black and white video where the guy's talking about how it's probably on TikTok, how he's talking about how the moon is made out of plasma. Okay, so while you look for that, let you look on that. Oh, here it is. Haha, found you. Of course I put it with speaking to Hitler's higher self or his daughter. Here it is, y'all. Okay, 1965. All right. 1965, which is 3 years before these World Fairs, guys. Okay? Of the Texas one. All right, let's see what he says.
Well, now, one thing, you have a theory about the moon, and we expect to be able to get observable facts about the moon fairly soon. What is your theory?
Well, it is by now rather more than a theory. 10 or 11 years ago, I stated to various scientists that the moon is not a piece of rock, but it is a plasma phenomenon, a cosmic plasma, and that this fact will eventually be confirmed. I made certain predictions which were already confirmed in 1958, and the situation now is coming close to a complete confirmation.
What will be the result if you're proved to be correct in your theories?
The result will be profound and decisive, because it will give proof that a complete reinvestigation of the laws of nature is necessary. Because if the moon is a plasma, no man will ever land on it. The soft landing attempts will all fail. That means that the mass of the moon is less, far less, than is currently assumed. It's in a different state of energy, and it has far less mass. That means there is no more explanation for the tides. If the moon, for example, had only 1,000th part of its current mass, then the tides would only be 2 inches high, and the conventional theories instead of sometimes 14 feet. And that means that if it is proved that the moon is a plasma, then all gravitational theories are out, and a new concept of the cosmos and of its laws has to be evolved.
Ha ha ha! Who is he, Gina? We need to figure out who he is. It just says scientist, it doesn't say his name. So let's research that. And I want to hear more about him. That's pretty amazing. While I am here, I am preparing you all. This is gigantic. Again, sign up to the Extra Sensitive series. You can start watching all the videos now. Turns out that he did have a daughter in those memories that I had. Tons of pictures of her. Okay. Check this out, you all. This map here was found by a Japanese man. His brother was a doctor. And you know who gave him the map? He found it in the Himalayan mountains with the Buddhists. Yes, monks. He found it in the Himalayan monks. And it goes into that. We're going to talk about that. And check this out, you all. This map here, we found Adolf Hitler's map. This is all in German. And he explains this is a reflection of the moon. And we have translated it. Thank you to the A.U.R.A practitioner who found the details more to that map and who has translated it. And not only that, you all, of course, we have practitioners in Germany. We have another German practitioner double checking that we translated it correct. Aha, data straight from him. I'm going to show you as a teaser really quick. Check this out, you all. This is their map, and why are they beyond the North Pole, and why are they beyond even the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean? Because look at this. Swastikas, which we know is a positive alchemy symbol that even the indigenous used to use here in Americas. And there's different names. All right? Yeah. The biology of Earth, and this is moon reflection. Okay. So you don't want to miss that one. All right.
So
Okay,
there's
so
a
yeah, go
couple
ahead.
questions on this if you want to.
Yeah, go for it. And then we're going to get started on the book.
Yeah.
I could stay here about another 30 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's see, where are we at? So you just talked about the moon being plasma and disproving gravity with all that information. Somebody asked about the tides. They said, what the heck? No tides? What's going on?
Yeah, so what's happening is that the water's being pulled through the moon, which is magnetizing the water to it. So if you have electrons that are spinning around or doing whatever they're doing, right? They're like going around like this, like in an infinity symbol, really, the moon and the sun, right? And as they're doing this, when the full moon, but it's happening in new moons too, isn't it? It's like crazy. It used to just happen in full moons where the full moon will pull in the tide. So, so that constant vibrational frequency oscillation is magnetizing the water too, which is also magnetizing us because we have water, us, and it's lifting our vibration. And it goes into my courses that I teach. So the vibration in us needs to oscillate and vibrate higher. The water, the way we ascend out, is through the water in us too. So then we magnetically pull into the future Earth, the new Earth, which is a full moon. When you see the moon at a full plasmic full moon, that's the Earth, the future ascended Earth you're seeing. What's beyond the ice wall of all the maps I showed you guys of our ancestors, then the worlds that exist within worlds. And I have an aura coming up within a couple days that goes into the world again. You can see with the third eye what's beyond the ice walls, the different gods that are walking among us, since the aura session was conducted on the 9925 portal. Yeah, so what's here now? Okay, questions, comments, continue.
Yes, so we are the bubble. We have a bubble around us, and without the dome, are we electrified?
Okay, so like there's an energetic bubble around us, just like I talk about in the Lost Cities of Tartaria in detail, how there's all these bubbles and it goes into the universe and the multiverse, okay? All right, so these bubbles are around us, right? Energetically, because of the electrons and the photons. But what's happening is that these electrons, there's an inner earth and there's a hollow. Inside the inner earth is the original 5D construct. And then we're an overlay over it, which is the 3D is not quite a hologram, but is physical. It's an illusion. It's the matrix that we talk about, right? But when you look at the nature is very real. The nature is where, and if you look at everything with your third eye, you'll see that everything has plasma light coming through it, crystalline energy, that even the air has little crystals in it. Every down to you, the DNA is crystallized, right? So yeah, energetically spinning, but inside the world is the real earth, the 5D earth. And we need to get rid of the crust, like we always talk about. So then the electrons are creating the electricity powered up. And you know how it's powered up, you all? Because like Nikola Tesla or even Yeshua in the Bible said, the firmament, the water, see the crystal above us, which is like a blue crystal. It's like changes in colors when you look at it, but it's mostly blue, the crystal above us. What's beyond it, you all? You know, you've seen those videos where they try to hit the firmament and it's like it hits water. You've seen those? I've talked to you know, children, or my husband was mentioning that when he was a child, he would look at the sky and say, "There's an ocean there." And that as a little boy, he would question, like, why is there an ocean above us and under us? And then he would say that the sky was connected to the ocean, which was true, because the crystalline dome above us, like inside of Tesla coil, right, has water beyond it, has water behind it. You understand? So then the universal waters above the sky are powering us up. Think about this scientifically, are powering up all the energy field. And what is the receptor and the conduit? What can really basically transcend electricity, lightning, water? That's why if you put a live wire to the water, you'll get zapped. Don't do that, right? So all the water above us, above the crystalline energy dome, crystalline firmament, as Tesla said, right, is powered out by this electricity, and electricity is God. It's the photons, it's the light transference, is light, the light that gives life. Okay? So it's constantly powered up. We are powered up. Yeah, a lot of science there. Continue.
Wow. Yeah, that's all just incredible to put it all together for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So is it really a reflection of Earth that we see on the moon's surface, like a reflection of water?
Yes. Uh-huh. So you're really looking at water beyond the crystal. Mm-hmm. And why they chemtrailing and all that stuff. But how beautiful the blue skies would be without those chemtrails there. You go to places like Mexico, right? They don't do chemtrails there, and other places. It's a very beautiful, vibrant blue. which tells us that we are in the blue lotus, right? We teach that blue lotus flower, so we're in a lotus flower, the flower of life, and our universe is blue. That's why our waters are blue. And those waters all connect our universe together. Continue.
I love this comment. Somebody said it makes a lot of sense. The cosmic plasma of the moon that allows the organic version of the future Earth to be reflected. Rock could not do that.
Exactly. Exactly. So the moon is a scrying, is a crystal scry. She's scrying in the reflection of the future that is there with no AI. Ascended. Thank you for the comment. Questions, comments? OMG for sure.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then, does the firmament regenerate its own crystals after a piece of it has fallen down in the form of an asteroid or meteor? How does that work?
So in case you're just joining us and you didn't see, we started an hour earlier today. Normally we're at 1 p.m. Go back and watch it, you all. This is huge, okay? All right, ask your question again.
Yes. So, does the firmament regenerate its own crystals after a piece of it has fallen down in the form of an asteroid or meteor? How does that work?
Yes, good question. All right. For that, I would have to go to the Smithsonian. At the Smithsonian, they have meteoroids and is it asteroids? Right?
Mostly meteors that they had on there, but I think
Mostly
there's a few
meteoroids. Okay, get this, you all. These meteoroids went through, I could try to pull up the pictures. They went through the, that was this year, right? Yeah, that was this year.
January this year.
Okay, let me go to January this year to find that for you. Let me get you a visual. Hold on.
And we did find out that the scientist that you showed the video of, his name is Robert Foster.
Okay, let's make a note on that, and we're gonna look up his science. Take care of that. Okay, so September, where's January? Here we are, January. Okay. What else did I do? January. So much here I'm doing all the time. Okay, January. Where are you? All right, here we are. Found it. Okay, so Smithsonian, you all. All right. Okay, so they so awesomely have everything displayed for us to take pictures to show you all now. I just gotta find the right picture. 1 second.
Someone said that in the mornings they see pure blue directly straight up from a giant tree in front of their home to all the way to the crystal dome.
Whoa, cool. Okay, here it is. Okay, so they have this displayed in DC. Okay, so it shows you the different meteoroids. Okay, so the meteoroids crash in, right? So, okay, so what happens is that they break off, right? And then they crash in, and they crash in into people's homes. Look at this lady where this guy had the hole through his ceiling, went straight to it. One of the ladies here says that it hit her in the head, and she luckily survived it. Okay, yeah, resting her sofa right here, hits it in her head. Okay, so what's interesting here is if you see how there's like a gold tone to it, it's a gold tone to it. This is not altered in any way. Okay. So it turns into some kind of gold color when it detaches. So basically what meteorites are they're pieces of the firmament, you all. That's what meteorites are. Because there's really no way out, no no in and out unless you ascend out, right? Or if you go in through the North Pole, which I am remote viewing, I remote viewed it 5 episodes, you all, through the extra sensitive series. You go in and then there's a infinite waters that there's a universal portal there, and it's also in book 3, Lost Cities Tartaria. Okay. The North Pole. Okay. So for more details on that, that's really detailed there. Okay, so and then asteroids. What do we say asteroids were? Where asteroids come from beyond? Asteroids, that's what it was. Divine Mother said that they're going in through. They're like morphing through, like, so the permanent is a portal too. So they portal in outside from the universe, you all. That's what asteroids are. They're pieces, actual minerals that are coming from beyond our earthly construct and to bring codes, energy, whatever they're doing. And the meteoroids are the ones that are coming straight from the firmament, the crystalline dome. Understand? Questions, comments? We're going to get to this book.
No, there's nothing at this moment, but that is incredible. Yeah. And also you've spoken before how the shooting stars are the soul groups. So portaling in and out too.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So now we're going to get to the book again. Gina shared the link in case you missed it if you want to read along. And then we'll be ending this about 20-ish minutes, okay? And then we'll continue and we'll see how long it takes us to read 600 pages. It's pretty fast. The way the read is really written, really good. The author, you did a good job from your time space. Good job. So it's very clear. Okay, so again, we're reading the Worlds Columbian Exposition, 1893. Let me give you a teaser as before I read it of this. I haven't read it like full page, no, but I've only skimmed through it to show you guys. Okay, so let me show you this. So really cool finds, and we'll get more details on these, is like, it talks about the electricity that they had from back then. It's a really beautiful message for me from Japan because we have something going on there. Also really cool is that this postcard was put on page 309, which is of course where my book, it's like they leave me pieces of divine. My book ends of course on 309, and this Japanese postcard is placed there, 309, to give me a message about Japan. Okay. The other thing that's really cool is that, oh, it's so beautiful. Also, like this book is, you know, it's an advertisement for this book, just Japanese interior, and it's like the life of Japanese woman. It's really beautiful, you all. Not what we saw after. Okay, so then from there, really amazing, you all. Look at this, the volcano of Kaluuya, the great one of Hawaiian Islands. Let me close the windows. There's neighbors. I totally tuned it out. I just realized they've been mowing the lawn. Okay, I don't remember how long they've been doing that, but
that just started, so no worries.
oh, it did. Okay, so it says the volcano of Kaluuya, that great one. So this is page 578. Let me read it here. Okay. Again, if you have the download, you could read it along with me. I just want you to know this, that this is big, what happened here for this year. Okay, so the volcano of Kaluuya, the great one of the Hawaiian Islands, is shown in a cyclorama west of the Algerian village. It is an immense painting depicting the weird sublimity of the inferno of the Pacific. The Ring of Fire, huh? Over the entrance portal of the building stands the figure of the goddess of fire, Hawaii Pele. The building houses this panorama is polygonal in shape, 140 feet in diameter and 60 feet high. Around its walls hangs a canvas 54 feet high and 412 feet long. Wow, that's a pretty big canvas. Upon whose surface the artist has depicted this world's great volcano. The actual crater is a huge depression or pit about 3 miles long and 2 broad. The walls are mostly precipitous through quite irregular, and the floor is some 300 feet below the surface of the island. What? At the point in the reproduction, the point of view selected for the visitor is the center of the crater. To this point, he transported for the time being, and upward and around him, he gazes upon bubbling scene pools. Where does it say it at? But I'll just keep reading. Okay. Pools and lakes of fire, tumbling masses of rocks, and outpourings of lava. Fathomless pits yawn below him. Huge puffs of smoke arise from the earth and from unknowable rents. So if you guys remember, I went to Hawaii and we went to that crater. And fissures in the ragged edges of the crater, fierce flames and sulfurous gases escape, intermingled with the long glassy thread which the natives call Mother Pele's hair. It's after the dread goddess of the crater. At one point he beholds an inky lake of molten lava slowly pulsing and throbbing. Through those waves burst forth jets of many-colored flame. Beyond this he looks down into a perfect sea of fire, and the sight is absolutely indescribable. All of this the cyclorama gives a vivid representation, with its built up foreground which blends imperceptibly into the painting of the canvas, aided by a skillful pyrotechnic displays, colored electric light, and other mechanical means. Thus one has in miniature every feature of this grand crater, whose circumstance is more than 9 miles. It is the only volcano whose terrific fires never die, you all. Never die out, and which is ceaseless in its awfully activity. Do you hear that, you all? Guess what? When we went in March, a couple days before, she started erupting. And she has not stopped erupting, you all, since then. And something happened to her in between, you all, because she wouldn't erupt all the time. Gina, can you give us details on that? Like, how often will she erupt? She has not stopped erupting, you all, in Hawaii since then. Since March this year. And back then, in 1893, she was the only volcano on Earth that erupted every day. Wow. And she's back on track. She's back in that timeline. She's erupting. Again, it is the only volcano whose terrific fires never die out, and which is ceaseless in its awful activity. In the background, one sees the snow-capped peaks of Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea, which we climbed to the top. There's pictures, you can find them under my Facebook, each of which is about, I also have a video I made about Hawaii, Cursed Lands, Cursed Gods. You could check that out. Okay, so Mauna Kea, each of which is about 1,500 feet high. Opposite, and we reached 13,000 feet high, and they're about 15,000 feet high. It says opposite them is the mighty Pacific, its waves lighted by a full moon and its surface glittering like silver. Over the entrance portal of the building stands the figure of Pele. We didn't see that. Where is she at? The Hawaiian goddess of fire. It is built of wood covered with staff to represent stone, and it is the work of Mr. Ellen Rankin, cop of Chicago, of course. What is going on here? It's all about Chicago everywhere. The post of this awful divinity was suggested by an island, but we know Chicago is the heart of the dragon. You all are hopefully keeping up. We talked about this in one of our recent videos when we talked about how we are living on 2 dragons, you all. What video was that? And we said Avalon, the return of Avalon. And I showed you guys, watch that video. We'll add the link. How we're on 2 dragons, right? The Europe, Asia, so we're a dragon. Chicago, Lake Michigan is the heart of the dragon, you all. Okay. And then over the entrance portal of the building stands the figure of Mother Pele, and there's the work of Mr. Ellen's Chicago. The post of this awful divinity was suggested by an island legend which tells us of a race between the goddess and a native prince. Winning at the first trial, he taunted her to try again, and looking back beheld her seated a wave of molten lava in a fierce pursuit. Her hands bearing firebrands which she hurls after him as she takes refuge in the sea. And it goes on and on and on. But tell us what you found out about the crater there that is now on fire.
Yeah, so she has different cycles, and historically they have some going all the way back to the 1700s that they know about, but there's a lot before that they did by testing the lands, I guess. But the 1800s, there was a good bit of a good bit of things going on from like 1823 to 1894. So she was pretty active in the 1800s, and then it looks like she 1897 she took a break until 1902, and then in 1903 to 1906 she was pretty active, and then from 1906 to 1924, oh, it looks like actually that's actually another volcano. The 1906 to 1924 was another volcano in Hawaii, but she was in 1918 and 19. So right after the First World War, she became active. 1921 in, let's see. And then the 1970s, 1974, which you talked about 1974 earlier. 1975. And then in 1982, which you talked about 1982 on the postcards earlier. And then she recently, it said that the most recent episodes, she's had 30, they call them eruptive episodes, since August 6th. She's had about 30 different eruptions since August 6th this year.
Oh. And then before this year that she started erupting, when was the last time she erupted? And there's some pictures and videos I'm showing you what happened when we were there. Started erupting. And then, I mean, she's lots of videos, you could look it up. She's like erupting really high. We're seeing here like the beginning of her erupting. All right. Such an honor to be there when that was happening.
It looks like before this year, it was 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had one in 2018, and then 2008. And then there was a continuous eruption, which on and off, the longest continuous eruption phases she had was between 1983 to 2018.
Yeah, nice. 83. Just right after the 1982 World Fair there. Wow, okay, so she really did a long time there. And then from there, you didn't really see her a couple times to now, right? Which pretty much has been on kind of the whole year since March. And what year was the 2023? What year was that? So we had the Year of the Dragon, 2024. What was the year before that one?
So you had 2023, and then actually there was a few eruptions from 2020 to 2022.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a couple.
Mm-hmm.
What's also interesting too,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like the first recorded explosion that explosive eruption for her was 1790. And you've talked about that in some of the other timelines that you've gone over.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1823, and then 1924. So it seemed like the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, and then after 1924, she really started ramping up.
Yeah. What year was it, the Chinese astrology for 2023?
That was the year of the rabbit, and specifically the water rabbit.
Whoa. Which, of course, she's connected to the water. All right, so here's a summary, okay, of what I've run into, you all. So, I mean, you name it, it is here, you all. For real. It is incredible. It is all here. The introduction, previous exhibitions. I mean, it goes into preliminary history, the site and how to reach it, administration, manufacturers, machinery, agriculture, horticulture, fisheries, mines, transportation, electricity. Goes into all of that. Oh my God, it's beautiful. It talks about these crystal palaces. It talks about all the world. It's not just Chicago. It talks about London. I mean, these are all the different, like 1853 right here, Dublin, Cork exhibition, New York, 1853. Oh, looks like they're hosting them, like kind of like they do the Olympics, right? But they're doing them every year, it looks like here, but we won't know till we read it. Munich in 1854. Manchester, 1857. Florence, 1861. Paris Exposition, 1867. Okay? All right. I mean, there's these beautiful statues of the Republic, woman. The Republic's figure was a woman. There's so much, you all. I mean, 600 pages of amazing things. One of my, interesting enough, I'll be interested in reading this in 479, you all. We'll see later. But this is supposed to be a picture of illustration of Christopher Columbus. What's going on there? So I think they talk about him there. But look at this. Oh my God. Let me show you. Hold on. Yeshua's in here, you all. Yeshua is here. Okay. And we'll see what they talk about. But here, according to this, he is, I mean, they're talking about like it was yesterday here. He is at the home of Mary and Martha. Who's Martha? He's at their home right here, according to this.
I believe Martha was Mary's relative, his mother's relative.
Yeah, so, and there they are. So it is all here, and I'm gonna leave it with this, you all. Okay, this is crazy. Okay, so in the last American, part 1 through 4, something happened to the people, right? And it was the last American, and the Persian prince ran into him, right? And if you remember, they were blonde hair and blue eyes. So the Americans from here, and I had a reading this week where she was Caucasian and she was in the Tartarian buildings back when the sun became too hot, and she was very connected holistically to the herbs, and she went into the forest to survive, while the rest of the Caucasians of this world kind of stayed in their Tartarian buildings and so on. And then there's indigenous people, you all. There is indigenous people, both of different colors, my color, darker color, right? They call them Negroes. All of these were the indigenous. While it seemed like more of the Caucasians in this time period, when the sun was shifting, they were more in the buildings of the last American. But eventually they became more multi-racial, right? Diverse then. But if those Caucasian, and this is why they had to make the Cabbage Patch Kids, because they were all gone, and this is why when the invaders came into this world of America, why there was only indigenous people, why they enslaved they call them African Americans, why they enslaved them, but they were from here. They were from America. Let me explain to you. This world had its own races. Asia and Europe had its own races, which brings us to these say Caucasian people had blonde hair and blue eyes. What does that mean? So your world, did you all have Caucasian and blue eyes, or did you guys have blonde hair with green eyes? or brown hair with green eyes. Or the Irish, we know that the Danans came from somewhere else and they were red hair with green eyes. There's different Caucasians. So just like I explained to you guys, like there is, you guys have the animals, they're different animals, right? Lions, tigers. We have panthers, pumas, whatever, bears. You guys don't have bears over there, it's a panda bears. You know, we have buffalo, you have giraffe and elephants. It's two different worlds, completely different. The humans were different, of course, because they were from two different worlds, you get me? And this is where I conclude it here. Let me show you a video here. And where did I put it? So, here it is. Okay. He did a really good job putting this video together, you all. There's two different, say, blacks. There's two different blacks, you all. Our world are different than yours. Here they are. Let me show you the video. And this is where we go into the understanding. And where does that put like Rh negative and the different blood types? They're from different worlds. Look, listen.
Man, get in here, get in here, get in there. This rabbit hole just got deep. So you know this whole diaspora thing? So I want to see, does all the peoples around the world look like these Africans? Or do they look like us? So you just want to say, Getty, you biased. You just...
Okay, so let's get to the point. Look.
So you want to be like Getty, you biased. This is us, this is them. This is us, and this is them. So now we finna go around the world and we finna see who everybody on earth look like. Us or them. But before I start, if you'd like to donate $1.
You get it?
It's the Africans.
This is the difference, you all. Very big difference. All right. Now we know that, you know, with this is that you're also going to see that the slave owners ended up, right, like sleeping with the slaves. So you're going to see some of that too. But then if you go back to watch the video where I went to the Parthenon and they had pictures of Nubian or say blacks on their pictures, and they were civilized. They had like teachers, they were like professors and stuff back then, and they have them in there. So go back and watch that. We're looking at two different worlds that would have many different animals and different human races. And we'll drop the mic at that and get back to you guys next time. We'll see where we're at next video. Join us every live Friday, Rumble, you all, 1 p.m. typically Central Time. I love you with all that I am. Let's go. What's up? Right here, right now, hit subscribe, hit like. Hit subscribe, hit like, y'all. Let's go. Dance with me. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you. Subscribe, hit like, share this video everywhere. Go to Rising Phoenix Mystery School. Go to my AuraPractitioners.com website to sign up to any of the memberships. Go to my Rising Phoenix AuroRa. Check you guys out later. RisingPhoenixAuroRa.com. Woo! Woo!